G'day guys and welcome to Raging Rhino. It's time for episode 9 of season 3 of The Bad Batch. Now the only question really is that who was Fennec Shand talking to at the end of the last episode? It's so funny, I was thinking about it all week and I'm thinking to myself, they create this mystery box at the end of the last episode by not allowing us to either see or hear who Fennec is actually talking to, which essentially does break canon in a way because when a hologram's talking to you, you should be able to hear it and it shouldn't just be this muffled sound. But of course, they did it to create the mystery box. And I do believe that the only thing inside that mystery box is something that they've already revealed, that it's asajj Ventress. But I also wonder how long it's going to take, how many episodes is it going to take for us to get a revelation from that Easter egg or from that mystery box. That's really all there is to worry about in this series. Complete and utter disaster for me when it comes to the story that they're trying to tell. They've got to get the clones out of Mount Tantus. They've got to figure out why Omega is so important to the Empire and what an M count is. And they're going through, especially last week's episode, they're going through essentially the video game plots. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we got to do this to help this person. It's the same thing as The Mandalorian all over again. And I wonder how many episodes where it's going to take to get to revealing that mystery box as well. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into episode 9. Of course, if you are new here, you get to see my reactions as I go through the episode. And then at the very end, you get to hear my thoughts and my review of the episode. Let's get into it. So their main goal is to still find out what an M count is and why the Empire's after Omega. Oh, what is he afraid of that's in the cave? Oh, it's Ventress. So this little mystery box of who Fennec was talking to at the end of the last episode literally lasted about 2.5 minutes. About 2.5 minutes. It's almost like, what's the point in muffling the person that Fennec was talking to at the end of the last episode in the hologram?
They were asking about the Empire's M count bounties. What can you tell me? I'm sure you can track them down.
You know, and even though it is a nitpick, I don't really care that much, but changing or just with the lore a little bit, you know, or the canon of things a little bit so that you can create a mystery box that literally lasts 2.5 minutes. I mean, it was pretty obvious based on the fact that you leaked Ventress in the trailer that Fennec was talking to Ventress at the end of the last episode. Why not just have her voice and have her ask the question about the clones in her voice as opposed to doing it this way? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's almost like they knew that people were going to sit there and do theories of who Fennec could be talking to, even though, again, it was pretty obvious that it was Ventress. Stupid, man. That's interesting. It's so funny, too. At the beginning of this episode, he said, we haven't heard back from Fennec, but then he just mentions to her that he didn't give her their coordinates. Now, does that mean that they've got the ability to, you know, do long-range transmission to each other? Did he at least give her that information? I mean, it wasn't shown, so I guess it's possible. But it's like things like that in storytelling that you need to make sure that you at least reference so that it gives the audience a sense of realism in this universe, as opposed to things just fluking. And then again with asajj just saying, I have my ways of finding you. And look at the haircut they gave her. They gave her the bullshit lesbian haircut. And of course, Omega comes up with the solution to be able to make these guys negotiate. So is it her with the high M count? They weren't mixing. They've already made her force sensitive. So this is the whole thing about just trying hard enough. Everyone's got an M count, yeah, okay, but it's just like out of Ahsoka. We're just going to make her force sensitive through concentration and because of belief, and she tries hard enough. And obviously, I thought that they were putting M count blood in with her blood, but when they put the other blood in with her blood, it showed that she had a high M count, is what the assumption is right now. Asajj Ventress is teaching Ahsoka. Oh, and she picks it up quick. And what Omega says happens. Can't you just test her blood? Like Qui-Gon did with Anakin? Okay, so she doesn't have a high M count. But when mixing high M count blood with her blood, it does something amazing. Okay, so the entire episode was basically just them on the island. Ventress has found them. Like I said at the beginning of the reactions, I do find it funny that they can only create a mystery box that lasts literally 2 minutes, the opening of the very next episode. So it almost makes the mystery box creation completely pointless. So there is that element. But this entire episode was Ventress testing Omega to see if she had a high M count, a high metachlorian count. And instead of testing blood, which obviously they don't have a way of doing that, at least Ventress doesn't have a way of doing that, otherwise they just would have done it. She tests her by putting an apple on her head, making her balance on one leg, then making her go and get some flour from the top of the mountain before the sun sets, and then taking her out in the ocean and trying to get her to reach out with the Force and see if she can interact with life and everything around her. And then she tells Omega that she doesn't have an high M count, tells the guys that, look, I can't be 100% certain of that, but if she does have a high M count, you better get out of here because you're not as safe as you think you are. Because obviously Ventress was able to track them down without them giving their location to Fennec or her or anyone. So they certainly aren't as safe as they think they are being on this island, based on the fact that Ventress was able to find them, no problem. That's pretty much it. They've tried to make Ventress a good guy, and given her a really shitty haircut. That's the episode. It's literally the episode. So it really does come back to whether or not in the Ahsoka series, you know, with Sabine and just saying that as long as you concentrate hard enough, you will be able to use the Force. And then all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, she just this explosion of power. That might happen in Omega's case. I still think that she doesn't have a high M count, but being that she's a clone and she's got some good DNA in her, that when M count blood is mixed in with it, it doesn't lose any of the metachlorian count. So I still think that's the case, but you never really know. This is Disney Star Wars. This is Dave Filoni's canon garbage. So you might end up getting that out of this, where she's just amazing. By the end of this series, Omega's going to be using the Force quite well, and she's just going to have an explosion of power. And after doing these tests with Ventress, I can already foresee the next episodes with Omega constantly trying to reach out with her feelings and basically taking stuff from the lessons that or the tests that she got from Ventress. She's going to bring that into fruition and into reality, all because she can concentrate hard enough. So again, that's basically the episode. That's where I think we're going moving forward. And that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for episode 10. Later, guys.